Okay, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be filming this tutorial with this green summery eyeshadow. I use the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. And this was my first time using this palette, but I have to say I thought that it was really good. What I really like about this palette is the fact that it has so many different shades with it, so you can do so many different types of shades. You can do like all neutrals, warm tones, something really colorful, smoky eye. So there's like a little bit of everything in this palette. And I used a lot of the warm shades to sort of do my transition, and I used this dark green shade down here to do my lid. I did think the green shade was a little bit harder to work with as far as like fallout and blending goes, but I think I was able to make it work. I don't say that that's a flaw in the palette. I just think that the eyeshadow is so pigmented that it makes it a little bit harder to work with. And there was a little bit more kickback with the green shadow than some of the other shadows I used. But other than that, I have to say that the other shadows blended really, really nicely. So I'm going to say that I'm going to keep using this palette, and I actually like it. Alright, so if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Alright, so let's get started. So I already have my eyebrows already completed and filled in. If you want to see how I get my eyebrows done like this, I will put a link down below of my eyebrow tutorial. But to start today, we're going to start with our eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the NARS Soft Matte Cream Concealer in the shade Custard, and I'm going to put this all over my lid as a base. I'm just going to go in and just blend it in. And then I'm just going to use my finger to sort of melt it into the skin. And it's good to put a little bit like in your corner right here, so like to conceal any darkness, because this is a concealer. So I just tap that in and just going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm not really sure what eyeshadow look I'm going to be doing today. But I am going to be using the Jaclyn Hill palette, so we'll figure that out. I'm thinking possibly doing like a half cut crease, but I'm not sure just yet. So to set that concealer before we go in with any eyeshadow, I'm going to use the Naked Basics palette. I'm going to go in with the shade Foxy right here, and I'm just going to put that all over the lid just to set that concealer that we put down already. And it's always good to set your concealer so that your eyeshadows will blend a little bit more easily. Okay, so now I'm going to be going in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I actually haven't used this palette at all yet. This is going to be my first time using it. I've had it for a while, I just actually haven't bothered to dip into it. So, I mean, to start, I think I'm going to go in with these two transition shades. I think I'll start with this one first and then maybe apply this one second. I'm going to go in with my Sigma E40 brush into the yellow shade and just start applying that in my crease. And then I'm going to go in with that second shade that I pointed to and just bring it a little bit lower. I mean, I do have to say the shades do blend nicely. You know, they're blending into each other really nicely. They're really nice and soft. I'm just going to go in with another brush and just blend out those edges, just to make sure we don't have any harsh lines on this outer end over here. So now I'm going to go in with this shade right here and apply that into the crease as well. To apply this into the crease, I use the BH Cosmetics blending brush, I believe in the number 9, and then I'm just going to go in with my BH Cosmetics 101 blending brush and just blend out those harsh lines. Then I'm going to go back in with that blending brush and just blend that out. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of a deeper shadow that's slightly darker than this is the one we just used. We're going to go in with this one and blend these two together just to darken the outer V area. And I'm still using my BH Cosmetics brush in the number, is it the number 9? Yep, in the number 9. And just throwing that into the outer V. So I feel like I need to go in with a deeper shade. I'm thinking this dark shade right here, it looks like almost like a plum. I'm going to try going in with that in the corner. We're using this BH Cosmetics, oh that looks nice, brush in the shade 9. I think what's good is the fact that I am using the same brush, because it shows like how much you can do with just one brush, that you really don't need a lot of brushes. And this is a BH Cosmetic brush and super affordable. I'm really thinking we should do this green shade because I think that might fit well with these red tones. I'm going to go in with a smaller packing brush. This is the Sedona Lace EV21 brush. And it's just a smaller shader brush. That brush I was using I think was too big, and I think it was making it a little patchy. Yeah, this is a lot better, less patchy. Yeah, this shadow brush is way better than the first brush I was using. Like a short shader brush is probably what works best because you really want to pack on these shadows instead of spreading them. And take a little bit of dark green, like this forest green from the palette, and just go in with that outer V. I'm going to go in with the House of Lashes and the Style Iconic. I'm going to apply these and then I'll be right back, okay? Okay guys, so now I am back. I have applied my eyelashes. I'm just going to let the glue dry a little bit before I go back in and do mascara and all the other stuff. So now I'm just going to go in with my foundation. So I'm actually going to be going in with the Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear, and this is in the shade 3.35. This is my darker shade because it's summertime right now. I use a lighter shade rather when it is winter or fall, just because my skin is not as tan. So I just shake it up and I'm just going to apply this to my hand. And I usually do about 3 pumps, and that's usually, oh, I forgot to put on my primer. So actually before I do that, I'm going to go in with the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer, and I love this primer. This is my favorite primer. And I like this primer because I can actually feel the difference in my makeup's longevity when I wear this primer. When I use like the Professional or like the Smashbox primer, I feel like the thickness on my face is not as good. So like I said, I'm going in with the Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear, and I'm going to apply that all over my face, and then I'm going to blend it in with the Beauty Blender. I usually just begin with tapping motions. And I like this foundation because it's not full coverage. I personally do not like full coverage foundations. So now I'm going to go in with the Shape Tape Concealer, and this is in the shade Medium. Like I said, I'm using medium now because my skin is more tan, but usually I use light to medium when I'm more fair skin. And I'm only putting 1 swipe because this this concealer is really thick, and I feel like it can get a little cakey if you apply too much, especially under your eye, and I have dry under eyes, and I do use eye creams and moisturizers under my eyes, but I do have dry under eyes, and I don't like when products kind of cling to my skin under my eyes, so I just go in with 1 swipe. I know I see some people who just keep going and keep applying. No, that's not cute. Like, even the amount that I did apply, I feel like it's like a little too much. Like I could have went a little more light-handed. I'm going to set this concealer with the Urban Decay Velvetizer, and this is my first time using this product. So I'm going to test it out and see how it goes. I'm just going to pour a little bit into the cap right here. And what I noticed when I did open up this product was that it's much more like finely milded, like it's a finer product than like the Laura Mercier, which is what I normally use. Like the Laura Mercier is a little bit more grittier and thicker, where this seems to be like a little thinner. So I'm curious how this is going to work. I'm actually going to use it with a brush. Most of the time I do it with my Beauty Blender, but I realized with this concealer, the Shape Tape, that Shape Tape is a little bit cakey. So I'm going to try using a brush to see if it applies less product. And I'm just going to set that under my eye. Yeah, it looks nice. I kind of want to go in and set my whole face with this powder and see what that's going to look like. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit more. Take my Real Techniques powder brush, knock off the excess, Just powder. Yeah, I love this powder. It really smooths the skin. Like as far as like first impressions go, like this is really sort of like what the product says on the bottle. Like it's velvety, like it's making your skin very velvety, which is almost kind of giving you the filter flawlessness without having a filter. And I know I'm looking a little pasty right now, but we're going to go back in with some bronzer and we are going to warm up the face. But I have to say, I really do like this setting powder. Like, it looks kind of dope. I'm actually going to go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. And although this is a contour palette, I'm going to use these two shades to bronze up the skin. Just because they have a little bit of warmth in them. And I'm just going to use this to sort of contour a little bit. So I feel like that bronzed up my skin nicely, but I want it to be a little more bronzy, so I'm actually going to go in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and this is in the shade Medium Deep, and I really actually like this as a bronzer, I'm not going to lie. I used to use it as like a setting powder, but I don't really like it for a setting powder, because it doesn't really do any setting at all. Now to really go in a little bit deeper and give some depth, I'm going to go in with another contour shade. And this is the Kevin Aquan shade Sculpting Powder in the shade Deep. And then this is just going to real light-handedly really carve out the cheekbone. And I don't apply too much. You really don't want to go crazy applying a lot with this. I'm going to go in with some blush. This is the Becca Luminous Blush in the shade Tiggerly. And this is what it looks like. This is this really nice orange. So now I'm going to go back in and work on the eyes, and I'm going to do underneath. This is a pencil brush, and I believe this is by BH Cosmetics, the 105. I have the one by Sigma too, but this one will work fine. I'm just going with those red and more plummy shades. And then I'm just going to go back in with a liner brush and use a darker brown that we had used to do the outer V. I'm just going to go back in with that. I'm going to go in with some highlight, which is my favorite part. And I'm going to be using the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero palette. And I think I'm going to use a combination of shades. I'm going to do these between these three shades right here. So I'm going to go in with this liquid lipstick, and this is the Tarteist Lip Paint in the shade Home Slice. And I'm going to top that with the Jouer Lip Topper in the shade Rose Gold, and I'm just going to place that on top. Okay guys, so this is the final look. This is with everything on. I think it came out pretty good. I think it was a little bit of a hassle to work with this green eyeshadow. It was kind of messy, but I think in the end, after like setting my face and everything, I think it came out pretty good. What do you guys think? Why don't you leave a comment down below if you really like this look. Thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already. And yeah, enjoy.